So my name is Sherrie-Lee Petrie. I coordinate the Gender Equity Center, which is out of the Lakehead University Student Union, which basically means that I coordinate all of the events that happen through that space. So tonight is Take Back the Night. And Take Back the Night is an international grassroots movement that started back in the 70s. Where a bunch of people basically came together and said that it makes absolutely no sense and it really isn't fair that the streets aren't a safe place for specific groups of people, specifically women. And so this event kind of seeks to reclaim a little bit of that space. But this event also seeks to build community and share stories and experiences.
That's good. Do you think it's making a big difference when you do this? Do you think you get the recognition, or do you think it's going to be a long time coming still?
Yeah. So I think everyone understands the idea of big difference differently. So I would say that if there was one person in this room that heard Brianna, who was the survivor that came forward and told her story, and she actually told that story for the first time tonight with her name attached to it. And so for me, if she's coming forward and telling her story, and there's one person in this space that's saying, hey, something like that happened to me too, or if there's one person in this space maybe who works at some institution where maybe the policies aren't so great, and they heard her and they're going back to their workplaces on Monday and they're saying, you know what, we need to create some change in the way that we operate, then for me that's a successful event. That makes me happy. Do I think that sexual violence is going to stop anytime soon? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think that more people of power need to come out to these events, you know? So I think it's awesome that we have, 10 men taking part in a discussion right now. But I think that there needs to be more men who are coming and taking part in those discussions. And I think that there actually needs to be people in power, government people, coming and taking part in those discussions, not with other government people, but with us at a grassroots level.
I think the ultimate goal for you guys would be that you'd never have to do this again, and that there would no violence would ever happen again. I mean, that would be, for me, it would be the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like.
I mean, the ultimate goal, sure, but I think, do I think that I think that I've been doing this long enough to. Will I see that in my lifetime? Probably not. So for me, it's better to focus on the more tangible things, because I think it's when we make small steps, that's when the pieces start coming together and change actually happens. If everyone comes in a room and says, I'd like to end sexual violence, but I have no idea how, nothing's going to happen. But if people can come together and say, like that student said, some policies really need to change, and someone else talked about, issues with the police response needs to change, then those are those practical pieces that we can go back with now and say, why aren't these functioning in the way that they should? Even something as simple as, I didn't know that apparently there were issues with, I think two people brought up the issue with seeking emergency supports from doctors' offices, and those emergency supports not being available to them when they needed it. And so now, as someone in my position, I can go and find out what those supports were that they were trying to access and talk to those providers and say, is there a way that you can maybe have something available for people who experience sexual violence? Maybe if, a support area closes at 4:30, they keep one counselor free from 3:30 to 4:30. That way, if something comes up that day that needs immediate attention at 3:30, even if the person is coming in for support at 9:30, they can say, we can't see you right now, but come back to us at 3:30 and we have time for you. Not, sorry, we're too busy.
Well, I think this is a great, it's a long-standing cause.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are doing a great job. And I hope that someday we won't have to worry about this kind of
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.